As we welcome you inside the R.W. Banks Junior Gymnasium on this Saturday afternoon for a CCAC presentation of women's basketball here on the V-Hawk Sports Network. I'm Cooper Lipsky. This afternoon, the St. Francis Fightin' Saints at 20-2 overall and 12-2 in conference play take on the 9-11 Viterbo V-Hawks. They are 7-6 in conference play. Take a look at the starting five in this one, starting with the away side. The Fightin' Saints will line up as such, starting with the 5'10 senior from Romeoville, Illinois. It's Tykara Harrison. Then the 5'4 senior from Frankfort, Illinois, in Lorelei Thormeyer. Then the 5'11 sophomore from Schaumburg, Illinois. It's Simone Harrell. Then the 5'10 senior from Oak Lawn, Illinois, Leilani Harris, a two-time CCAC Offensive Player of the Week. And then rounding it out, the 6'1 junior from St. Paul, Minnesota, in Zane Singer. Zane Singer, my apologies. As the Fightin' Saints are coached by John McGinty in his fifth season, assisted by Jimmy Copenhaver, Janae Poison, and Hannah Switek. The Fightin' Saints enter winners of their last contest against the Holy Cross Saints in that one where they procured a 99-71 victory. Another monumental win for them after coming off of a loss to the best team in the CCAC, the Olivet Nazarene Tigers. As for Viterbo, their starting five will look as such. The 5'8 junior from Chippewa, Wisconsin, and Marley Hughes. Then the 5'11 junior from Cadott, Wisconsin, Lauren Gadel. Then the 6' junior from Rosemount, Minnesota, and Perlatico Folly. Then the 5'8 junior from Bangor, Wisconsin, Nora Tucker. And the 5'9 sophomore from Westfield, Wisconsin, in Carly Drew. As the V-Hawks, coached by Jordan Scarr in his first season, assisted by Brooklyn Paulson and Caitlin Cruz. As the V-Hawks coming off of a 103-63 loss to Olivet Nazarene back on Wednesday, they look to rectify that with a victory here in this one. They have won 3 of the last 5 matchups against St. Francis, but St. Francis side looking like one of the best in the conference. They currently rank second behind Olivet Nazarene entering into this one. Viterbo in the white uniforms. They'll be moving from left to right on your screen. As for the Fightin' Saints, they'll be in the brown uniforms moving right to left. As the Fightin' Saints win the jump, and we are off and running here from the R.W. Banks Senior Gymnasium. Open this one with a 3 attempt as Thormeyer won't get it to go, but the rebound, Karam's back. Here's Thormeyer once again. Dishes it out to Harrison. She'll try to drive. She can't against Drew for the moment. She'll try again. The low block, kicks it back out on top. The drive by Harrell. Shot is up, no good. Another offensive board by the Fightin' Saints. Throwing this one up is Harrell. She gets fouled by Tico Folly, and she'll head to the line here to start this one. Viterbo entering in 7th place. It's good enough right now to capture a postseason spot. First one up and good for Harrell in this one. Harrell shooting 70% from the line this year. Second one up, second one good, and off to a 2-0 start to begin this one for the Fightin' Saints. So we get to see Viterbo on their first offensive possession in this one. As they'll swing it to Tucker. Tucker trying to get it down low, but Tico Folly not on the same page. But luckily for the V-Hawks, it comes off of a Fightin' Saint, and it'll stay V-Hawk ball. The inbound comes to Gadel. Gadel swings it out under the wing. 3 ball up by Drew, and the V-Hawks take their first lead of the afternoon. One pass up the floor, sent out to the wing. Another 3 ball up, no good by Harrell. Ball remains loose. It'll be last touched by a V-Hawk, or by a Fightin' Saint, and it'll be V-Hawk ball. 8:57 left here to play in the first half. Of course, last year when these two teams met here, the V-Hawks collected a 67-55 win over the Fightin' Saints. Tight ball game that saw them prevail. Perla Tico-Foley with 14 points in that one. Takara Harrison with 16 for the Fighting Saints. Harrison, one of the most prolific scorers in not only the Fighting Saints, but also in the entire conference. 3 ball from the far wing from Drew. Won't get it to go. Rebound collected by Harrell. Up the floor, able to split past one defender. She'll pull it back. Kicks it off here to Thormeyer. She'll try to drive. Feeds it down low. Great find. Great finish by Singer to make it 4-3 as the Fighting Saints back out in front. As Marley Hughes gets it inside to Gadel. Gadel holds. Now slings down onto the wing. Pass comes inside to Tico-Foley. Stripped from behind by Harris. And Thormeyer scoops it up. Up the floor for the Fighting Saints with a bounce pass. Able to find Harrison. Harrison with a crossover. Dribbles it back out here. Now looks on top to Thormeyer. Now over to the wing. 3 ball. Harrison. This one far. Not going to get it to go. But once again, another offensive board. Simone Harrell. She feeds it inside as Singer tries to get past Tico-Foley, but great in defense. Perla Tico-Foley ranks 3rd in the CCAC with 25 blocks this season. An indomitable post presence as there's a drive as Nora Tucker able to split past her defenders and puts it off the glass and good. V-Hawks back in front by a point, 5-4 with 3:24 left in the first quarter. Here's Alani Harris. Harris gets it on top to Thormeyer. Now back, 3 ball, won't go for Harris. Gadel collects the board for the V-Hawks, slides it forward to Tucker. In defense is Harrell, just trying to cause a little chaos. She walks up the floor. As here's Drew. Drew kicks it to the corner, tries to drive. A defensive foul called against Simone Harrell. First pair of subs on in this one, Maria Pates, as well as Corin Fromm for the Fighting Saints. Getting their first look in this one as we have a foul on the floor. Appears to be Leilani Harris dragging down a V-Hawk, trying to get some space. Pass floated in from the inbound to Gadel. Gets it back to Hughes. Comes out to collect it. Hughes here. Now over to Drew. She'll try to drive. Kicks it to an open Hughes. Fires up the 3. Clangs it off the board, and an offensive foul, or a defensive foul in the battle for the rebound on Maria Pates. Be fun to watch Pates and Tico-Foley down low in this one. Pates ranks 2nd in the CCAC with 30 blocks this year. Tico-Foley, aforementioned, 25, 5 less than her. Viterbo looking to get their largest lead in the contest. 3 ball on the way. This one off the iron. Rebound finally falls here to Thormeyer. Thormeyer with a pass forward. And another pass. The 3 ball swished by Corin Fromm, the 2nd deadliest three-point shooter in the conference at 47% this year. 5-2 or 7-5, a 2-point lead is what I'm trying to say for the Fighting Saints. Tico-Foley open outside the perimeter, does not shoot the 3 ball at all, has not even attempted one this year, but she'll get it inside, tries to kick it out, tumbles back to her, gets it on top, shot clock down to 7, fine down low Tico-Foley. She'll score it. She wanted the and 1, but it'll stay 2. 7-7 with 5:40 left here in the first quarter. So here's a drive by Harris, feeds it inside, Pates off the glass and good. Fighting Saints averaging 83 points a game, which is 2nd best in the conference, and defensively only allowing 53 points on average, which is best defensively in the CCAC. Show you why they're one of the best. 1 game shy of a conference title last year. As Corin Fromm from downtown able to drain that one. Back-to-back possessions with a couple of 3s for her. Makes it 12-7. As it comes to Hughes in the corner for the V-Hawks. 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. That one no good. Rebound by Carly Drew. Tries to get it out. It'll come off of the knee of the St. Francis defender, and that'll take us to a timeout. 12-7. Fighting Saints in front with 4:53 left in the first quarter. You're watching CCAC Women's Basketball on the VHawk Sports Network. Here from the R.W. Beggs Senior Gymnasium, 12-7. The Fighting Saints in front in this one over the VHawks. I'm Cooper Lipsky. Take a look at some of the other games going on concurrently with this one, as Holy Cross taking on Trinity Christian, Governor State against Mount Mary, and Judson against Olivet Nazarene. San Xavier and Calumet postponed in this one. Don't necessarily know the reason for the postponement, but we'll let you know as soon as we are aware. Shayna Williamson receives the inbound, gets it to Kira John. Back out to Williamson. She'll drive to her right before handing it off to Drew. Drew back to Hughes. Tight defense by the Fighting Saints right now. Is trying to drive is Drew. Tries to skip it across the floor, throws it off the backboard. Great carom to John. 1 second left on the shot clock, as that one well short. A shot clock violation for the VHawks. As a ball loose on the inbound, and they're going to say that a foot was involved, trying to win that one back for Carly Drew. So they'll get a second chance to break it up the floor. The full court press for the VHawks is broken. Harris drives, kicks it, far wing, three, ball, Swinski can't get it, falls right back to Harris, and she'll finish what she started. Makes it 14-7 Fighting Saints. Largest lead, and it keeps growing for St. Francis. For a minute there, when we started this ball game, it was back and forth, both sides having 1 point leads. And now the Fighting Saints can't miss. Williamson tries to attack. Back out to Hughes. Hughes works across the arc, kicks it off to Tucker. Won't get the three ball to fall. Rebound collected by Sowinski, and a defensive foul called against Carly Drew. So entering in is Maya Kennelly, a senior out of Oak Lawn, Illinois, coming on in for Harris in this one. That's 3 minutes, 38 seconds left here in the first quarter. Electing to drive here is Sowinski. Gets it to the high post to Pates. Pates looks to the far side of the floor, gives it off to Kennelly. Kennelly back to Pates in the post, working against John. Loose for a moment. Looks like Kira John just got a hand a bit too close for the officials' liking, trying to win that ball away. (14-7), 3:24 left here in the first quarter. Fighting Saints with the lead. They've won 4 of their last 5 entering into this one, as the drive by Sowinski battles on the block, can't get it to go, able to win it back. Second opportunity is a foul, and she'll head to the line here. Both teams from the free throw line, respectable, as the Fighting Saints third best in the conference, 73% as a team. As for Viterbo, 67% from the line. That's 8th best. First one up and good. Makes it a 15-7 lead. Trying to make it a little bit larger. They say that that game in Calumet, postponed due to weather, has been rescheduled to Friday, February 13th. Second one, no good, and now the VHawks look to break. As Drew flips it back to Williamson, fires it to Tucker, now looks to Hughes in the corner, feeds it inside to Kira John. Back out, open three look. Williamson, she'll get it. Shayna Williamson, only 29% from beyond the arc. That's 1 point better than her total from the field at 28%. Had 12 points against Olivet Nazarene in the midweek bout. As Kennelly, pump fake, tries to drive, picks up her dribble, dishes it off to Harrison. Harrison gets it back. She'll try to drive, kicks it on top. They'll work it to the wing. Kennelly from way downtown, rims out. Can't get it to fall into the cylinder. Marley Hughes up the floor now for the V-Hawks. Kick it off quickly to Williamson. High off the glass, no good. Rebound won by Tucker for the moment. Able to find Drew. Throws one up, won't get it. A race to the corner as Hughes tried to save it from going out of bounds. Williamson coming off of that ball game against Olivet Nazarene, setting her season high total with 12 points in that matchup. Couple of subs on in Thormeyer and Harris, as well as Chloe Auth for Viterbo, a freshman out of Durand, Wisconsin, averaging about 3 points per game, has appeared in 19 so far this year. As a kick to the corner, open three looks, Sawinski won't get it. Chloe Auth fights for the board. It'll be tipped out of bounds. Last touched by Harrison, and it'll be Viterbo ball. (15-10) with 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. There's a crossover by Williamson, able to dish it off to Hughes. Hughes hasn't had a break here in the first quarter. Great find inside to John. Can't get the first initial roll to go. She's able to win it back. Kicks it out. Tucker, 3 ball. Hey, you know, 3 is better than 2 on that scoreboard. Closes the gap, makes it 15-13 with 1:30 left. Drive here by Harris. She's hit on her way up and may got poked in the eye. We'll have a sub on as Sawinski makes her way off, and Simone Harold subs back on in. Tucker gets called with the foul for the V-Hawks. The 5th team foul here in the first quarter, and that'll put St. Francis in the bonus. That's Harris from the free throw line. 92%. Knocks down the first one. That ranks first in the CCAC among those qualified. Second one up, second one is good. Makes it 17-13, 4-point lead with 1:20 left to play here in the first quarter. V-Hawks trying to work themselves back into this one. They'll kick it here to Williamson. Now to Tucker, skipping it to Auth, looks to Hughes, back to Tucker. Here's Auth, open three, look, she'll try for it, she won't get it. Harris glides in for the rebound, dishes it forward to Thormeyer. One pass forward here to Harrison. She'll try to cut up the defense, floats it. Not a bad look, just couldn't get it to fall. Had a well over, just floated a bit too much over. Goal in that one. (17-13), 55 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. Only a 4-point difference between these two sides so far. They played twice last year with both teams splitting the season matchup. As a feed inside, Tucker, easy layup look. She won't miss a whole lot of those, making this a 17-15 ball game. Turbo plays well at home, 5-3 this year, while St. Francis on the road, 7-2. St. Francis undefeated at home. I don't believe these two teams will face off later in the year, and they won't. This is the only matchup. This is the second matchup of the year. St. Francis got an 82-52 win last time around as a foul called with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. The all-time series, 3 games each for both sides. St. Francis able to pick up an 82-52 victory back in November at home. First one up by Harris is good, as most typically are when she's shooting from the free throw line. Shot is up, shot no good. Ball tumbles out of bounds. It'll stay St. Francis ball with 9 seconds left here in the quarter. As Harrison back out onto the floor, trio of subs on for the Fighting Saints here as the inbound from Kennelly. Trying to find somebody to get it into, and not before. We have a foul against Chloe Off. So since St. Francis is in the bonus, they'll shoot 2 here. As Sawinski, freshman out of Aurora, Illinois, 75% from the line this year. First one rims out. Trying for the second one. Sawinski, can she get it to go? Ball is up, and she won't. 9 seconds left here in the quarter. Hughes picks up her dribble, feeds it back to Tucker. Tucker, one pass forward to Drew. Open 3 look. She'll get it, and that'll do it for the first quarter. 18-18 at the end of 1. Not a bad first quarter for either side as we go to the second. Funny enough, last time these two teams met, it was 21-21 at the end of the first. Be interesting to see how the second quarter plays out. But you're watching CCAC Women's Basketball on the V-Hawk Sports Network.
My favorite.
Back here from the R.W. Begg Senior Gymnasium. 18-18 at the end of the first quarter between the V-Hawks and the Fighting Saints. I'm Cooper Lipsky. We mentioned it. Back in November when these two teams played, St. Francis and Viterbo were tied at the end of the first quarter, 21-21. What happened in the second, St. Francis 17 points, Viterbo only 9. So they're looking to rectify that and hoping that the home crowd will give them a little extra boost here. Tico Folly gets it out wide to Hughes. Hughes with a dribble. Skips it on top here to Gadel. Now looks for Tucker. Tucker over to the corner to Hughes. Tries driving baseline, feeds it down low. Drew puts up the shot. She'll get it to fall. Viterbo back in front, 20-18. As already in a little man-to-man press, trying to cause some havoc in the backcourt, but the Fighting Saints able to break it. Ball floated back to Thormeyer. A little 2-3 zone put on here defensively as the drive almost too easy for Harrison. And she can't get it to fall, however. As here, Gadel backing down her defender with a spin move. Put her in the spin cycle. Makes it 22-18. Largest lead for Viterbo in this one. Ball skipped to the near side of the floor. Drive by Sawinski. Tries to take baseline, and a foul called on the floor. First team foul here in the second quarter. Second foul against Tico Folly in this one. Call upon Kira John to take her place. 2 subs on for the Fighting Saints. (22-18), a foul called in the far short corner. As the inbound floated inside to Harrell. Harrell uses the backboard to its intended purpose, and it's a 2-point ball game. 22-20 with 8:45 left here in the second quarter. As here's Carly Drew. Drew trying to get it inside, read it well, however, by Simone Harrell, able to poke it away. One pass forward on the near wing. Now back with it on top. Harrell dribbles it back out. Now flips it off. Harris will pop the three. She won't get it off the back iron. Here's Tucker. Pulls up. She'll knock it through. 24-20 with 8:12 left in the second half. Second quarter, I should say. My apologies. Four-point lead for the V-Hawks here. As a ball poked away, stolen. One pass forward. Marley Hughes off the backboard and good. 6-point lead now for the V-Hawks. Trying to procure what would be a statement upset victory in this one. Kick to the near wing. Three ball on the way. Harris drops it. 26-23. No breathing room in this one for either side. St. Francis had themselves a 7 or an 8-point lead early on in the contest. Turbo have fought back. Ball sent out to Hughes. She'll fire up the three to answer. Missed it between the rim and the backboard. Harris tries to fight for the board. Reigns loose. Drew fighting for it. It'll be a jump ball. So it'll be St. Francis ball. As the position arrow for a moment was turned off. They've got it rectified here. 7 minutes, 11 seconds left in the second quarter. 3-point ball game. Viterbo in front. Good start to this one for Nora Tucker. 9 points. Lonnie Harris with 8 for the Fighting Saints. Harris gets it inside. Back out on top. Harris with a drive. She'll try to attack against John. She's stuffed. Monumental block and the odd man rush here for Viterbo. Slinging it here to Gadel. She'll fire up the three. She'll get it. Gadel, 2 of 2 from the field, 1 of 1 from downtown. 5 points so far in this one, makes it 29-23. Back to a 6-point advantage. 6:30 left to play here in the half. As Harrison against Off, able to dish it off to Harrell. Back to Harris on top. They'll swing it to Harrison. Harrison tries attacking the baseline, runs into Off. Great defense, able to jostle it free and poke it out of bounds. As Lorelei Thormeyer back out onto the floor here for the Fighting Saints. 6:14 left to play in the second quarter. As a little two-step move, won't get it to go for Harrell. Second chance opportunity will result in a jump ball, and Viterbo wins possession back. (29-23), 6 minutes left to play here in the second quarter. Ball floated inside to John. John battling for it with Zane Singer. He'll be poked out of bounds, but a foul called prior to that. (29-23), 6-point lead for the V-Hawks. Inbound, floated to John. Feeds it back down low to Gadel. Gadel back out on top. And a little gather step by Williamson will be called for a travel. Thormeyer dishes it off here to Kennelly. Kennelly hands it off to Singer. Singer over to the wing, electing to drive Harrison. Pulls up, off the backboard, can't get it. Gadel with the rebound. Williamson collects it for the V-Hawks. 5:30 left to play in the quarter. Shot is up, won't get it. Kennelly collects the rebound, gets it up to Thormeyer. Another pass forward to Harrison. She'll try to drive. Back out Kennelly. She attacks, kicks it back out. Thormeyer She'll attack this time into the lane. Turn around, jump shot, won't get it. Carly Drew collects the rebound. One long pass forward to Williamson. Waits for some help. Gets it in John. John splits the defense and scores. 31-23. Largest lead for the V-Hawks in this one. They lead by 7 or 8 now in this one. 3 ball to answer for Harrison. She'll drain it. Second best three-point shooter in the conference at 42%. Takara Harrison can't leave her too wide open. Making her way over from Southeast Missouri State. That has been a vital part for the last couple seasons as a steal. Harrell can't get it off the backboard. Collected by the V-Hawks. Chloe Oth now. One long pass forward, open to Drew. Drew on the low block. Gets it back out. 3 ball, Gadel can't get it. Rebound, won by Drew. Stuck underneath the hoop with it. And a 3-second call. Spending too much time in the lane, and that'll send us to a timeout. 4 minutes, 6 seconds left here in the second quarter. V-Hawks with a 31-26 lead over the Fighting Saints. You're watching CCAC Women's Basketball on the V-Hawks Sports Network. Back here from the R.W. Beggs Senior Gymnasium, I'm Cooper Lipsky. As the V-Hawks lead this one 31-26 with 4 minutes, 6 seconds left in the quarter. Take a look at some leading scorers. Nora Tucker right now for Viterbo, 9 points, 4 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. As for the Fighting Saints, their leading scorer, Leilani Harris, she's got 8 points in this one. She's 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc, and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. 31-26, 4 minutes left to play. We're back to action here from the Beggs Senior Gymnasium. As a ball comes loose, Harris able to win it back against a pair of V-Hawks. She'll try to drive, throws it off the glass, can't get it to go. Almost got it to fall, but a foul by John on the drive. Harris will look to knock down the next 2 here. She's only missed 1 so far. She'll miss her second. Shows that's the announcer's jinx working against her. Second one up. Second one is good. She'll split her time at the line. Makes it a 4-point ball game. Fighting Saints had themselves an 8-point lead and have now found themselves down by 8 at the most. As here's Oth, trapped at midcourt, able to dish it off, and a high pass blocked back down by Fromm. Kicks it out. 3 ball, no good. Rebound by Carly Drew. 1 pass slotted forward here to Gadel. Gadel back out, open 3, look, unable to get it for Oth. Rebound falls to Hughes, kicks it to Tucker. Her 3 ball won't go, still battling. Tipped out of bounds, last touch by the V-Hawks. Some of the V-Hawk faithful here saying that still should be their ball. But I don't think Pates put a hand on it. She reached her hand out for it, but did not put it on it. As Corinne Fromm, one-time CCAC Offensive Player of the Week. Feeds it to the high post to Harris. She'll fire up the 3 and she'll drain it. Alani Harris leads the team 16 points per game this year, shooting 42% from the field. Our ball tipped out of bounds, and it'll stay Viterbo ball here. One-point ball game, 31-30 with 2:51 left here in the second quarter. Ball fed immediately to Gadel with a little euro. Can't get it to go. Pates collects the rebound, finding Thormeyer. Thormeyer trying to go coast to coast, loses a handle on it. Great defense by Oth to poke it away. One long pass forward to Gadel. Saves it from going out of bounds. Almost finds its way back to Viterbo Bastion. But here is Thormeyer. Underneath the hoop, back out from, won't get it. Rebound by Carly Drew. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in the second quarter. 31-30. Viterbo in search of a basket. Haven't had one in a minute. Hughes looks for Off. Off in the corner. She'll try to drive. Kicks it out. Near corner three for Tucker. Won't get it. Rebound collected by Drew. She'll try to reset. Getting out of trouble. Feeds it to a cutting Tucker. Off the glass and count it. (33-30) and a chance to put themselves back in front by 4. If Tucker can knock this one down. She's 68% from the line this year, 19 of 28. Coming off of an 8-point performance against Olivet Nazarene. Midweek clash back on Wednesday. Tucker's one and only free throw. Up and good. Makes it a 34-30 ball game. Take their time discerning who should inbound it here. Will be Harrell. Gets it into Harrison. Harris, Harrell, and Harrison. Whole lot of H's on the starting 5 for the Fighting Saints. Here's a drive by Harrison. She'll dribble it back out. Looks on top. Here on the drive is Sawinski, and taking the fall is Gadel to win Viterbo ball back. 34-30 with a minute 40 left here in the second quarter. Talked about how they only scored, or Viterbo only scored 9 in the second quarter in the earlier matchup this year. A blocking call against Harrison. They have scored 16 here in the second. Looking for more here, as we'll call upon Maya Kennelly. Riley Sawinski makes her way off as she picks up her first foul of the ball game. Off, collects it on top, standing on the volleyball line. She'll try to attack. Everybody cleared out on the near side. She'll skip it all the way across to Drew. Now looks for an open three. No good from Tucker. Ball remains loose. Harris, she'll fight for it. She'll win the ball as well as the foul call. Lauren Gadel called for the foul. 34-30 with a minute 16 left to play here in the first half. Viterbo shooting 44% from the field so far for St. Francis. A little bit under their usual 44% at 31 in this one. Second best team shooting in the conference at that 44% mark. Only behind, you can imagine, Olivet Nazarene. 1 minute left here in the quarter as Hughes able to save it, but ends up dishing it off to Harrell, who drives. Her first chance, no good. Her second is. So here's Hughes. Gets it on over. Drew looks on top here to Off. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Bounce pass, poked out of bounds by Corin Fromm. Sophomore out of Kiel, Wisconsin. Playing in her 22nd game this year. Has made 5 starts prior to this. Has Carly Drew to inbound it from the sideline. 33 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Right before half. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Stuck in that corner is Drew. Able to work it out. Off. Blocked right to Harrison. Harrison tries to lead the driving Harrell, but just a bit too far out of reach. The Viterbo ball with 18 seconds left here in the half. So they'll take their time up the floor. They'll wait till probably about 10 seconds to start moving that offense. As here is off. Defensive pressure tight for the Fighting Saints. Tucker skips it down low, finding Drew off the backboard and in. 3 seconds left. 1 second. Harrison puts up the shot. It won't count. And that'll take us to the halftime break. 36-22. Viterbo leads at half, where they scored 18 points in the first quarter and 18 points in the second. Very good half from Jordan. So we'll step away. When we come back, we'll have all the numbers in this one, as well as scores from around the CCAC, but treat it to the Viterbo dance team here at halftime. It's senior day for them, so we'll just step away for a moment. You can watch that. But at the break, 36-32, Viterbo in front of St. Francis here from the R.W. Begg Senior Gymnasium on the V-Hawk Sports Network. As we welcome you back inside the R.W. Beggs Senior Gymnasium here, campus of Viterbo University. Right now, the V-Hawks lead 36-32 over the St. Francis Fighting Saints. I'm Cooper Lipsky. As we are already back to action, Harrison looking to drive, able to skip it back out on top here to Thormeyer. Thormeyer dishes it off to Harris. She'll drive, throws up the shot, blocked first time, able to recollect it. Rebound collected by Tico Foley. But a very good first half for the V-Hawks, shooting 44% from the field, 25% from downtown, and 100% from the free throw line. Only one of one as a foul called against the Fighting Saints as Tico Foley will head to the, or no, they'll inbound it from underneath. Immediately call upon Mariah Pates, sophomore out of Champlin, Minnesota, a one-time defensive player of the week. As Tucker fires up the three and drains it to open the scoring in the second half. Back to a 7-point lead for Viterbo. As driving up the floor here is Harrison, dishes it off, three ball, little kitty wampus out of the hand of Simone Harrell. Trying to save from going out of bounds is Tico Foley. She'll be unsuccessful in her attempt. As for St. Francis at the half, they were shooting 30% and 30% from the field, 30% from deep, and 58% from the free throw line, 7 of 12. As the inbound, trying to get it into somebody, not before we have a defensive foul against Tico Foley. Battling for position. I believe that's going to be her third of the afternoon. Here, her first in the second half. Ball floated into Pates here. Hands it off to the inbounder and Thormeyer. She'll skip it. They'll work it on top. Harrison, she'll try to attack. Crossover. Trying to get some room. Gives it on top to Sawinski. Now here is Harris. The drive, the floater. It's all good. And a timeout taken by John McGinty. First timeout here in the second half. We just came back from break, so we'll take a look at the other games going on around the CCAC. As the V-Hawks lead this one 39-34. Don't have any report of a score between Holy Cross and Trinity Christian right now. There are two other games in progress, with Governor State leading Mount Mary 47-29, and then Judson trailing Olivet Nazarene 43-21 down in Bourbonnais, Illinois. Of course, the St. Xavier Calumet game has been canceled. Makes me wonder if maybe we should find out if the Trinity Christian game has been postponed down in the Chicagoland area, say due to weather for the Calumet contest. Well, that's right. Trinity Christian doesn't have a women's basketball team anymore. So that answers that question. So only two other games outside of this one going on concurrently. Of course, whole slate of men's basketball following this one. Well, not this one in particular, but later on in the day. Viterbo's Colin Adams on the cusp of the 1,000-point milestone in his collegiate career at Viterbo, so keep an eye out for that later tonight. Back to action here, 8:45 left in the third quarter as a foul called as a pair of Fighting Saints brought down Carly Drew. Gadel. Nora Tucker, fine start in this one. 15 points for her, 2 of 6 from beyond the arc and 6 of 10 from the field. For St. Francis, Leilani Harris with 14 points in this one. Leading the way for the Fighting Saints in that statistical category. As Tico Foley down low, great work in the post, makes it a 41-34 lead. Viterbo out to a 5-2 run to open the second half. As Harris tries to back down, her defender slings it back on top to Thormeyer. Thormeyer dishes it off to Harrison. Harrison will elect to try to drive. Finds no room, kicks it out. Harris, 3 ball, nothing but net. Sinks it in the cylinder. Any other saying you want, you can insert there as a foul, as the ball tipped out of bounds. As Thormeyer and Gadel going for the loose ball. think that's why it wasn't necessarily called a foul. There was that one little touch from Gadel that knocked it away. Sometimes on those, contact like that, you'll think there should be a foul, but I think that is the line of reasoning for that call. 41-37. Harris now up to 17 points in this one. Tico Foley collects it. Great find to Carly Drew. She can't finish on the floor, but she'll head to the line here to try to put them in. Of course, for the two sides coming up, the Fightin' Saints originally scheduled to play Trinity Christian, but as we know, they do not have a collegiate team anymore. The college shutting down at the end of the spring semester. First one no good. So their next contest on next Saturday against Indiana Northwest on the road in Gary, Indiana. That one up and good. Makes it a 42-37 Viterbo lead. Of course, after that, their next home game, February 11th on a Wednesday against Calumet College of St. Joseph. Crimson Wave make the trip. As they hold it in possession on their half of the floor. Ball fed down low, and getting this one to go is Simone Harrell. Harrell had 6 points against Holy Cross in their most recent matchup. All 6 made from the free throw line. As Harrell shoots and makes her first free throw, or her third free throw of the night. She's a perfect 3 of 3 now, a grand total of 9 points for her. Ball fed down low. Tico Foley comes up short. She won't get the second one, but she'll be fouled by Pates on her second chance. Tico Foley from the line this year, 61%. This will be her first free throw of the night. First one up and good. Makes it 43-40. Looks like they'll call upon Corin Fromm at the back end of this free throw if she makes it. And she won't. Hits off the back iron, falls off the front. Now the Fightin' Saints back in control. Takara Harrison up the floor, backing down Drew into the lane on the low block. Uses the backboard, won't get it. Pates able to win the board. Just rises up over her defender. Pates listed at 6'2". Tico Foley listed at 6 foot. On the other end, the quick bucket by Lauren Gadel. Back to a 3-point lead for the V-Hawks. 45-42 with 6:40 left here in the third quarter. As Harrison works off to her left, gives it back on top to Harris. Harris over to Harrison. Now over to Harrell. Back to the top with Harris. She'll attack. Throws up the shot, and she'll get fouled on her way through. Call upon Corin Fromm, aforementioned, had to wait for a break in the action. As Zanae Singer able to, she's going to sub on as well, and Kira John on for Tico Foley. Tico Foley with a really good shift to open the second half. First one up, first one good from Harris. Tries to make it a 1-point game here, 45-43. Turbo in front, second one up, this one good. Fightin' Saints outscoring Viterbo here in the third quarter, now 12-9. As up the floor, pass finds John. She'll get it out. Gadel, top of the key, 3. Rims out. Ball loose for a moment. Well in grasp of Singer. She's still trying to work it out. Gives it off to Harris. One pass forward to Harrison. Takara Harrison. Gives it off to Harris. Feeds it to the high post. Here is Singer. She'll turn around and pop it. She won't drop it. Carly Drew with the rebound. Dishes it on back to Hughes. Another pass forward to Tucker. 3 ball en route. Won't get it. And a foul against Takara Harrison, battling for the rebound. Shoving her opponent in the back. Try to get position on it. Viterbo in bonus now, and we'll have a timeout on the floor. It'll be a full timeout, so we'll step away. 45-40. Free throws coming up after the break. Viterbo in front with 5:42 left in the third quarter. You're watching CCAC Women's Basketball on the V-Hawk Sports Network. Here from the R.W. Beggs Senior Gymnasium, 45-44. Viterbo in front. Gato will step to the line, trying to knock down a pair of free throws. Try to put her side back in front by 3 points at the most. Gato 70% leads the team, shooting 57 free throws. She's made the most with 40, now 41. The Hawks coming into this one this afternoon, winners technically of 4 of their last 5. Is that one no good? 2-point lead with 5:30 left in the third quarter. John with the block, denying Singer. Up the floor come the V-Hawks once again. Drew on the wing. She'll work the baseline. Methodically. Gets it back out to Kira John. John dishes out to Hughes. She'll take the open 3. She won't drop it. Singer collects the board. One pass forward to Thormeyer. Another up the floor to Harris. She'll burn Bass Tucker. She'll lay it in. All flush here. 46-46 with 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. We were saying that Viterbo won 4 of their last 5. Technically, because one of those games was supposed to be Trinity Christian, and they don't have a team anymore. Carly Drew knocks it home, puts her side back in front, 48-46 with 4:44 left in the third. Thormeyer works off to her left, finds herself on the elbow, kicks it back out. Fromm gives it right back. Thormeyer back to Fromm, open 3, look, she'll drain it. And the Fightin' Saints have fought back to retake the lead, one they haven't had since the first quarter. 49-48, trying to answer 3 of her own. Carly Drew. Timeout taken by Jordan Scar. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll stay here with it. What a big-time 3 for Drew, shooting 31% from beyond the arc. She had no points against Olivet Nazarene. She now leads the way with 16 in this one. Her season high, a 23-point performance on January 5th against Martin Luther College. And just in that ONU game on Wednesday, just didn't have the stuff. 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 from beyond the arc. Had 5 rebounds and 2 assists. She's got 8 rebounds and 2 assists in this one, putting up a stellar performance. Could be on her way to a double-double. She collects 2 more rebounds in the next 14 minutes and 14 seconds left to play. So Simone Harold to inbound. Gets it in to Thormeyer. And now gives it off to Harrison to run the point. 4 minutes, 7 seconds left to play in this one. In the third quarter, I should say. Harrison backs down Drew, won't get the rebound to roll her away. Drew collects the rebound. Gives it off to Tucker behind the back dribble. She'll try crossing it. That looked a little peculiar. And the official agrees with me on that sentiment. A double dribble call. 51-49 with 3:52 left to play. A lot different of a contest than what we saw back in November in Joliet. An 82-52 win for the Fightin' Saints in that one. The drive, the layup, dynamite finish by Leilani Harris draws us even once again. 51-51 with 3:40 left to play here in the third quarter. Hughes calls out what she wants offensively. The offense scrambling to find a position. Drew finds it on the elbow. She'll try backing down Thormeyer. Almost double teamed. Able to give it off to John. Thought about shooting. Kicks it to the corner. Here's Drew. Not going to get it. Rebound collected by Harrell. One pass forward to Thormeyer. One-on-one with John. Dishes it out from far off the rim as it comes down to the V-Hawks. One pass dished off to Hughes. Now on top to Tucker. Tucker finding Off. Off tries to get position to feed it down low. Can't quite. Skips it to Hughes across the floor. Here's Drew. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Off will attack. Rises up the floater. Won't get it. Ball tipped back to Hughes. Shot clock resets. John down low. Battling Harris off the backboard. The toilet bowl roll gets to go. 53-51 with 2:26 left here in the third quarter. Viterbo retaking the lead. As a drive by Harrison, able to float it out back to Harris. They'll get it to Thormeyer, over to Harrell. Back to Thormeyer, finds it inside to Harris. Harris trying to work against Tucker. Shot clock down to 2. Great move by Leilani Harris. She has been as good as she has been all season in this one. 23.7 of 11 from the field. Harris' season high 34 point set against Clark. She has 25 points. She's 8 of 12 from the field. As a drive and the foul called, and now it appears that Tucker will head to the line. No, and spoke too soon. Took my eyes off to recheck the stats, and I was wrong. Carly Drew comes off. Shayna Williamson on in her place. 53-53 all with 1:40 left here in the third quarter. Viterbo in the bonus for the rest of the quarter. Viterbo gives a foul. St. Francis will be in bonus for the rest of the quarter. Though luckily, they don't carry over into the second or the fourth quarter. As a steal by Chloe Off. Dishes it back to Tucker. Gives it back to Off. Off swings it over to over to Hughes. Kicks it over here to Williamson. Trying to find a lane. Back out to Hughes, and she stepped on the sideline as she collected it, and it'll be a turnover. As Kennelly back out onto the floor, as well as Leilani Harris. As Fromm, and initially it was Harrison to come off, but it'll be Thormeyer to get a quick break. John off the floor, and Gadel will take her spot. No certified post player out there for Viterbo at the moment. Be interesting to see how they conduct this. A whole lot of guards out there. Back out, ball comes, 3-ball, Kennelly rims out, rebound, right place, right time, unable to get the finish, however, is Pates. Tucker with the rebound, finding Hughes. Hughes off to Williamson, looks inside now. Post move by Gadel, high off the backboard and arcs over the hoop. Final 30 seconds left here in the third quarter, 53-53. St. Francis has outscored Viterbo as this one rolls off of the foot of Harrison. Viterbo wins possession back. Shot clock turned off for the final 25 seconds of the quarter. Thormeyer on. Harrison comes off for the Fightin' Saints. And they're going to try to sneak in Simone Harrell here. And they will. take off Harris. .53, 25 seconds left here in the third quarter. Hughes collects the inbound. Pushes up the floor, crosses the timeline, now stuck in between the arcs at midcourt. Taking her time. Clock now down to 10 seconds. Down to 9. Hughes try to attack. Floats it up. Almost stolen away. It ricochets its way to Kennelly. 1 second left. It rolls out of bounds with .0 or just .2. It'll be Viterbo ball for the moment. It's a little up and in. It wouldn't have counted regardless. I believe the scientific time allocated is .3 seconds to get a shot up off of an inbound. So we go to the fourth quarter. It is all tied 53-53 as the Fighting Saints and the V-Hawks locked in battle here from the R.W. Begg Senior Gymnasium on the V-Hawk Sports Network. The fourth quarter here on the V-Hawk Sports Network. CCAC women's basketball. The V-Hawks and the Fighting Saints. 53-53 as the Fighting Saints outscored Viterbo 21-17 in that third quarter. As the final quarter to play, barring overtime here from the Begg Senior Gymnasium. Drew tries to get it inside somehow. Finds its way to Nora Tucker. Initially, it looked like it was Tatiko Folly, but Tucker flew in to collect it and scores. Viterbo with a 2-point lead now. Up the floor from. Dribbles it back outside the arc before finding it to Harrell. Now gets it on top to Thormeyer. Thormeyer floats it to Harris. Harris against Hughes in defense. Defensive switch. We see Nora Tucker on Harris early on in this one. Hughes, a senior, or a junior, as tough as they come defensively. Bodies come colliding to V-Hawks stay down. As Tico Folly was able to get that massive block against Thormeyer. As the shot clock was down to its last couple of seconds. And the trainers out there hope everything's all right. Lauren Gadel took a shot up by her face. She remains down for the moment. But taking a look at the numbers right now, Nora Tucker, 17 points, 7 of 12 from the field, 2 of 7 from beyond the arc, and 1 of 1 from the free throw line. Carly Drew, a great night for her, 16 points, 9 rebounds in this one. For St. Francis, Leilani Harris, 8 of 12, 25 points. She is about 9 points away from her season high, set at 34. Then Simone Harrell and Corin Fromm, both with 9 points in this one. Leading rebounder being Simone Harrell. As Gadel is up, she'll be helped off the floor here. Hoping everything's all right. Gadel has had a very good night in this one. 8 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist in this one. She'll be helped off the floor. 55-53 the score in this one. for Carly Drew with her 9 rebounds in this one. It sets her season mark for most rebounds in a game, which was previously set back in November against Northwestern Iowa with 7 boards in that one. Now on the cusp of what would be her first double-double of the season. As the official taking one last look here, making sure that the floor is all right. Well, players playing hard, the sweat, they hit the deck. Makes it a little precarious. He's trying to break the full court press. Are the V-Hawks? They will. Drew on the wing, finding Hughes back out on top. 8 minutes, 50 seconds left to play here in the fourth quarter. Tucker going to work to her left. Dribbles to no man's land, gets it back out. Here's Hughes, shot clock under 10 seconds. Tucker able to bounce pass it to Tico Foley, and an unfortunate bounce off the inside of the hoop. It skips out. Thormeyer up the floor for the Fighting Saints. They work it on top here to Harrell. Harrell to the wing. Down to Harris, now down low to Pates. Pates against Tico Foley. Nice hook shot, great finish. Draws us even, 55-55 again. 8:17 left to play here in the fourth quarter. Off on the wing with a crossover. Gets it on top to Drew. Drew on the cusp of a double-double. She'll drain that one. Drew now 18 points. Her season high 23 points this year. And she is closing in on it with 8 minutes left to play here in the ball game. Harrell on top. Rips to her left. Drives the lane. Gets foul on her way up. Head coach Jordan Scar for the V-Hawks upset. Got to play a straight-up defense. Scar talking to Kira John. And they'll get her onto the floor as Fromm makes her way off for the Fighting Saints. 57-55, Viterbo in front. Harold trying to close the gap here. First of 2 up and no good. Harold 70% from the line. She's 23 of 33 this year. Second one up, no good. And a foul called immediately on Alani Harris, fighting for that offensive board. So Viterbo back in possession here with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left. Somebody's going to get hot here late. You can kind of feel it. Will be Carly Drew for Viterbo. She's been on all night. Here comes the Drew. 3-ball, swish. Carly Drew, how do you do? 21 points in this one. 2 away from her season high. 1 rebound away from a double-double. As here's Harrison with a crossover. Takes baseline, draws some contact, won't be called, but she'll get the 2 points. 60-57 with 7 minutes left. Off skips it back across the floor to Hughes. Hughes dishes it back. Drew. Crossover. Takes lane. Tries to feed it down low to Off. They'll hit the deck. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay a turbo ball as Harrison unfortunately jumped on it and propelled the ball out of bounds. Inbound comes to Off. She'll dribble it out. Works off a screen. Kicks it to John. Back out. Drew. 3-ball. Not going to get this one. As Thormeyer collects the board. Kicks it forward here to Harris. Harris to the far corner to Sawinski. Now gets it on top. Thormeyer. She'll attack. Picks up her dribble. Tries to skip it here to Fromm. Almost lost the handle on it. Now with it, Sawinski. Fires it inside. Shot clock down to 7. As for a moment, Pates, and it will be called a jump ball. It'll stay St. Francis ball. Great defense to get a couple of hands on it to force that call with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. The inbound. Floated in to Pates. Dishes it off to Sawinski. Shot clock down to 2. Rises up. Uses the backboard. Pulls it within 1 with 6 minutes left. A methodical possession for the Fighting Saints to get that one in. 60-59. Viterbo remains in front. John down low. Rises up off the backboard and one. Kara John, 5 of 10, or 11 of 22 from the free throw line this year, just shooting 50% entering today. She'll miss that one though, and a over the back call against Carly Drew. John, a CCAC Defensive Player of the Week back in December this year. John with 6 points, her season high 18. And she'll have to play the rest of the way as Tico Foley with 5 personal fouls in this one. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left to play in the quarter, and trying to retake the lead are the Fighting Saints. Great drive by Harrison to pull that goal a little bit closer. 62-61 with 5:20 left. Off, finds Tucker. She'll attack. Splits the defense and drops it in. Nora Tucker averaging 9 points a game. She's up to 19 now in this one. Her season high set at 22. As driving in, going down hard is Harrison. Just needed a moment, but she's up. She's all right. Foul called on Tucker, fouled on John. She picks up her 4th. Viterbo might be playing without a post here for the next couple minutes. But 4:57 left to play in this one. 64-61, Viterbo in front. Timeout on the floor. We step away here on the V-Hawk Sports Network. Back here from the RW Bank Senior Gymnasium. 64-61 the score. Viterbo in front of the St. Francis Fighting Saints in this one. I'm Cooper Lipsky. And that is Takara Harrison at the free throw line, trying to knock down 2. Put her side back within a point. That's how it's been going for the Fighting Saints in this second half. Did have a short lead. The first one up and no good. But have since been just clawing between a 3-point deficit and a 1-point deficit. And they'll play from behind by 3 as Harrison uncharacteristically misses both. Carly Drew gets it inside to John. John high off the glass, can't get it to go. Harrison with the rebound for the Saints. One pass forward to Thormeyer. She'll skip it to Fromm. They work it back to Harrison on top. She'll try to attack the lane. Trying to get past Hughes. And a foul called against the Fighting Saints. Harrison comes off. Simone Harrell on the floor. Leilani Harris on, and Riley Sawinski comes off. As the official here raises his hand, just to make sure that they have the correct subs called to the scorers table. They do. 64-61, 4:30 left to play here in this one. Viterbo trying to knock down an upset here on this Saturday afternoon. Fighting Saints, 20-2 overall, 12-2 in conference play. One of the best teams in the conference. Long three, Drew. It's been her afternoon. Makes it 67-61, a 6-point lead now for Viterbo. Drew surpassing her season high now with 24 points in this one. And she'll pick up a steal. Fires it forward to Marley Hughes, and she'll finish. 5-point swing, forces a timeout from John McGinty. It'll be a full, so we'll step away. 69-61 with 3:45 left here in the fourth quarter. You're watching CCAC Women's Basketball on the VHawk Sports Network. Back here on the VHawk Sports Network, I'm Cooper Lipsky. 69-61, little 7-point swing, or 5-point swing for Viterbo in the last couple of possessions. All began with Carly Drew knocking down the three, and then on the defensive end, able to get a steal and picking up an assist as she dished it off to Marley Hughes to make it an 8-point lead for Viterbo. Back to their largest of the afternoon in this one. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to decide a winner. Harris underneath the hoop. She gets fouled by John. She picks up her fifth. She'll have to come off, and they'll have to call upon somebody to play the post. So Williamson subs on, no post presence here for Viterbo, as both John and Tico Foley have fouled out in this one. So everything will be from beyond the arc, likely, as the first one up and good for Harris. Try to knock down the second one. She will. 69-63, back to a 6-point deficit for the Fighting Saints. Williamson collects it, fires it forward to Nora Tucker. Tucker off to Drew. On top to Williamson, and a timeout taken by Jordan Scarr on the VHawk bench. It'll be another 30-second timeout. We'll take a look at the team totals in this one. Viterbo 28 of 58 from the field. It's good enough for 48%. From beyond the arc, they're 9 of 29 for 31%. From the free throw line, 4 of 8. That's good enough for 50% in this one. Free throws have not been either side's forte in this one. For St. Francis, 22 of 54 from the field. That's 41%. They're 7 of 20 from beyond the arc. That's good enough for 35%. And they are 10 of 19 from the free throw line. And that equals out to 53%. (69-63), 3:25 left here in the fourth quarter. Hughes gets the inbound in here to Tucker. Tucker, double team, almost stripped. A late foul called in the very last moment before that ball came loose. It'll be against Riley Sawinski. Comes to foul trouble so far in this one. Mariah Pates with 4. That's the only person with 4. Sawinski with 3. I believe that'll make her, and that will be 4 now. As Viterbo down 2 players with 5 fouls. As Carly Drew, it's her afternoon, and it'll stay that way. A 9-point lead, 72-63. A double-double for her, 27 points now, 10 rebounds. A career night. Harrison on the other end for the Fighting Saints. Thormeyer now. Kicks it to Harrison. 3 ball, won't go. But Harris collects the rebound. She'll dance her way through a pair of defenders and score. 72-65. Drew with a bounce pass to Off. As John McGinty and the Fighting Saint bench say it was 10 seconds in the backcourt. They don't call it. Ball mishandled on the rebound. Hughes trying to get it and send it to somebody on the near side of the floor. But it skips away and rolls out of bounds. 72-65, score remains. Viterbo's out-rebound St. Francis offensively 9-8. And total rebounding-wise, Viterbo 31-24. Two teams that rebound very well. St. Francis first in the conference with 49 rebounds per game, and the V-Hawks averaging 41, which is 4th best. Both teams 1 and 2 when it comes to rebounding differential, rebounding margin. He's on the drive. Hughes is fouled. She'll head to the line here. 72-67 with 1:45 left to play. Viterbo not out of the woods yet in this one. Hughes to shoot 2 as that one does not go for Marley Hughes. Second one up. Second one no good. Clangs off the iron right to Takara Harrison. Harrison tries to get it to Fromm. She's able to save it from going out of bounds, but Harrell's there to collect it, and a timeout taken by John McGinty. So a 30-second timeout once again. As you take a look at the all-time season series between these two teams, 3-3 between the two. They played once in a neutral site back in 2012. Turbo has a 2-0 record when they play at home against St. Francis, and as it's sitting right now, it may just end up that way to pick up their 3rd ever victory against St. Francis right here at the Beggs Senior Gymnasium. When they play down in Juliet, the record is in favor of the Fighting Saints at 2-1. It'll be the tightest game these two teams have ever played. 82-52 back in November, 67-55. That'll be pretty close. Back to action here at the R.W. Beggs Senior Gymnasium for the final minute 30. St. Francis trying to mount a comeback here. Final 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Taking a lot of time. Harold won't get it. Off, collects it, finding Williamson. They're going to try to foul here. The ball poked from behind, but it tumbles its way to Drew. She's off balance. She's fallen into the bench. Looks like a foul has been called. Not before. No foul. It was a timeout, a 30-second timeout called. As Jordan Scarr, once he saw his player, one-footed, keeping her balance along the sideline, just able to call timeout and earshot of the official. But 1:05 left to play before Well, Viterbo right now in pole position to pick up their third ever victory at home. It'll be a perfect 3-0 against a St. Francis side when they play here at the Beck Senior Gymnasium. Viterbo with a 67-55 win right here last year on February 8th. And then back in 2023, a 65-43 victory at home in that affair. So looking to continue the trend here against the V-Hawk, or against the Fightin' Saints. 1 minute, 7 seconds left to play here in this one. Hughes set to inbound, gets it into Tucker. Tucker in the corner. Gets it to Hughes. Hughes floats it to Williamson. Shot clock down to 10, 1 minute left, and a late grab from behind by Corin Fromm. Williamson steps to the line for the first time here this afternoon. She knocks down her first one. Williamson 67% from the line this year. On the afternoon now, she has herself 4 points. Trying to make it 5, and she will. 74-67, 57 seconds left to play. Crazier things have happened in the last minute of a collegiate basketball game. 7-point lead for Viterbo. Fromm tries to attack, a foul called against Carly Drew. Might be the best way. Both teams in bonus here for the final 48 seconds. So the game shifts from checkers to chess here in the later stages. First one will roll in. Almost made its way out. Decides it wants to go into the cylinder. She'll go 2 of 2. 74-69 with 48 seconds left. Fightin' Saints looking for a steal off the inbound. They get it into Drew. Now to Williamson. Have 10 seconds across the timeline. And they will. One long pass forward to Carly Drew. She'll lay it up and in. 29 points for Carly Drew. It'll be the most points any of V-Hawk has scored this season in a contest. 67-69, 3-ball no good from Harris. Fighting for the rebound, a foul called against Riley Sawinski. So Drew continues to add to her tally in this one. 30 points for her. Second one up and good. 31-point night for Carly Drew. Final 17 seconds, shot clock turned off, skip to the near corner, 3-ball arcs over the rim from Maya Kennelly. All Drew has to do is cross the timeline, she will. To a serenade of V-Hawk cheers. A career night for Carly Drew. A 78-69 victory over the St. Francis Fightin' Saints in an upset victory here this afternoon. Take a look at the team totals in this one, starting individually with the Fightin' Saints. Lilani Harris, credit to her, 31 points in this one, only 3 points shy of her season high. She also had 6 rebounds in this one. Corin Fromm with 11 points, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, and Simone Harrell with 9 and 5 rebounds. As for Viterbo, Carly Drew a double-double, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. I tried looking in the record books to see where that ranks. It's not listed, so we'll have to do a little bit deeper of a dive later on. But a monumental, a career night for Carly Drew. Nora Tucker, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And you know, Marley Hughes, 4 points, 5 rebounds, led the way with 6 assists in this one. For Viterbo, as a team, 49% from the field. You shoot better than 45%, you're not going to lose too many basketball games. From beyond the arc, 32%, and from the free throw line, 57%. They went 8 of 14. For St. Francis, an off afternoon for them. 4 of 1 from the field, 30% from the field, or from beyond the arc, and 14 of 23, 61% from the free throw line in this one. Couple of final scores real quick from around the CCAC, as only 2 other games going on right now in the conference. As it sits, a Olivet Nazarene 97-66 victory over Judson, Governor State 91, Mount Mary 42, and Viterbo knocks off the second best team in the conference, 78-69. Talked about a little bit earlier that the Fightin' Saints, their originally scheduled game on Wednesday was against Trinity Christian, but Trinity Christian does not have a women's basketball team to speak of. So their next game will be a week from today on the road in Gary, Indiana against Indiana Northwest before their next home game against Calumet College of St. Joseph on February 11th. For Viterbo, their next contest will be at Judson on Wednesday, their next home game next week right here against the Fighting Bees of St. Ambrose. And that does it for us. Carly Drew, 31 points, 12 rebounds in this one. A performance worthy of Conference Player of the Week, I dare say. My man No Way off to my left, he agrees with me. So with that being said, a big victory for Viterbo, 78-69 in this one. As we wrap it up. For our crew, I'm Cooper Lipsky saying good night. So long. We hope that you tune in again sometime soon as Viterbo wins 78-69 over St. Francis on the V-Hawk Sports Network.